welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Justice For All. In the last episode, Edgeworth kicked our butts and we barely found a way around it, so now we're hearing Old Bag's testimony. You remember last time she talked, right? She just wouldn't quit talking? Well, that's pretty much every time she talks. And if you notice the quality change, that is because of the camera that I'm using that I got from Red Streak, because I was using a Camtasia 3-day trial. Hold on a bit. Move this closer. That's perfect. See, it has to be him. He has to be he's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Ow, my butt. Not my butt, my back. Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show, but I refused to help. I'll have you know, it was for that lead-headed samurai show. Heh, I even took out a few of the nails. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me, so I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door? Oh, and what's that? Something you were interested in? And just what was that? It's not some little thing I could just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. Oh, and Edgy, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? If this has something to do with the case, then you can append it to your testimony. Looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. Oh, then what would you tell us about the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Cordier's room? I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not recorded in the report. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, Yes, he was? I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have front seats goes whip right about now. Well, I can tell you, since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was Matt Angarde, trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. Prove it. You saw my client, are you sure about that? Yes, see. Really? Annoying brat, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why don't we get a sense of deja vu? I was just about to say, the person's clothes. Please tell us the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that matters. But it does. Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important? I think so, actually. Of course it wasn't important, Your Honor. Oh, he just objected us. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of the testimony was important. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Oh, jeez. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I requested what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright, witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without any reason, but if I must. His flashy racing jacket, you say? Well... Oh yeah, I thought so. Miss Oldbag? What? Don't say my name for no reason! Do you know what this is? Ah, a button number 2. It's button number 2 on the Gem Ninja's costume. How do you know what number that is? Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here, give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this. Wow, she really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered in Mr. Engarde's body during a full-body search. See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of doubt that it was that rascal Engarde. It was caught up in the pleats of the Nickel Samurai Hamaka pants. See? See? And Engarde's the Nickel Samurai. Witness? Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Engarde, was wearing his usual racing jacket? Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. No. Somebody? A what? What are you talking about, woman? What just happened? Hold your tongue still there for a second there. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Engarde, the man, but Mr. Engarde, the Nickel Samurai? But when you think about it... I'm getting sick of this song, really. They're really one and the same anyway. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy Poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth thinking about. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. Engarde, yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's why, it was the Nickel Samurai I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Ah, youngins today, I told you, there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. Oh, you dirty. At least she's delightful. At least she was a delightful witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Witness. I have a couple of leads on this one, so I'm not going to press every single point. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at this post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly jester thing. And that included the Gem Ninja? Of course it included him. That's why Engarde came out of dear Juan's room. I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. Hold it. So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai. As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? Yeah. I noticed, but I'm not sure. I'm just gonna go with my idea anyway. It's the, cause he didn't know about the post-ceremony thing. But apparently that was just an off guess already. At least it doesn't take off that much, but I would still prefer not to have that tiny piece of penalty off. I mean, that's kind of cheap game. And why would that be? That way, no one could see his face, of course. But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more. You are such an annoying child, you know that? You disagree with everything I say. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it, maybe it was more trouble for him to change in and out of his costume. Yeah, okay, whatever. Whatever, old bag. Would you please get on with your testimony? Humph! Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? And she's singing. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Really? A piece of gum? Edgeworth, old chum. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not? Not too long ago? Then let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream? Huh? What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper? My dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be a Judge Wagner, of course, the hero of public court. So what? See? And look where you are. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you? Well, where I said earlier, who puts weight in anything like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies? Can you prove that? Gosh. I'm lost here. This is hilarious. I am lost. I do not know what to say. This woman is just, Oh, derp. The knife. Well, I was thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute. Please take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife, big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because of the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That's exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? If Mr. Unguarded was really in a nickel samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it is impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right, the nickel samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. Quiet. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as a nickel samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent of murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It is well known that the defendant and the victim had bad blood between them. Yes, I have heard of that. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edwards' theory? So let me get this straight. Edwards' theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intentions of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? Contradiction! This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Angarde was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Thinking. Still thinking. Okay, apparently that was completely off. Naturally, you point to the one piece with the least value, but with such vigor. Enjoy your energy while you can. Humans don't live forever. Neither do lawyers. You sure do like to think you can bluff your... I thought about that long and hard. Thank you very much. A certain object. Yes, thank you very much. I thought about that and I was wrong, okay? Excuse me, game. An item that should not exist. What wouldn't exist? I was wrong again! Why do I suck? God. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I get one more try. Well, two more technically. An item should not exist if he was the murderer. What would that possibly be? It's probably just been this the entire time. Or the button. I suck, don't I? This is terrible. You know, I'm just gonna end things off here and come back next time. I will see you guys then.